There is a secret that governs the lives of the wealthy, the powerful, and those who walk with an air of undeniable confidence. It is not their possessions that make them exude luxury, nor is it their bank accounts that create the presence they command. It is their inner state, the unseen reality they embody before the world catches up. To move as they move, to radiate the effortless grace of success, one must first assume the consciousness of wealth and power within. Confidence is not learned, it is remembered. It is the natural state of one who understands their own power. The world does not give it to you. You declare it within yourself. You do not wait for success to feel successful. You do not wait for luxury to feel luxurious. You move through life as though it is already yours. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you hold your head high, these are not the effects of wealth, but the causes of it. To exude luxury is not to possess more, but to know without a doubt that you already have all you need. The rich do not concern themselves with proving their worth, for they are certain of it. They expect the finest, not with arrogance, but with quiet assurance. Their presence alone speaks louder than words. There is no hesitation, no seeking approval, only the deep awareness that they are exactly who they believe themselves to be. You must assume the feeling of wealth before it materializes. You must walk, speak, and think as one who already has what they desire. The mind that still hopes for success remains in lack. The mind that knows success is inevitable moves with certainty. This is the difference between those who wait and those who command. Those who wait will always be waiting. Those who command will always receive. Luxury is a state of mind. It is not in the clothes, the cars, or the lifestyle. It is in the way you perceive yourself. When you begin to see yourself as one who deserves the best will seek you out. When you accept within that you are already that person, the world will rearrange itself to reflect it back to you. The essence of luxury and confidence is not something acquired from the outside world, but something that must first be cultivated within. True wealth is not measured by what you own, but by the state of mind you embody before your external reality begins to reflect it back to you. The world operates on a law that many fail to grasp. What you assume yourself to be, you inevitably become. It is not your circumstances that define you. It is your belief about yourself that shapes your life. The rich and powerful do not carry themselves with confidence because they have money. They have money because they carry themselves with confidence. They do not dress well to feel important. They feel important, and so they dress well. They do not speak with authority because others listen to them. Others listen to them because they speak with authority. Everything begins within. Every fortune, every success story, every great legacy started first as a conviction in the mind of the one who possessed it. To exude luxury is to embody a deep sense of worthiness. It is to know beyond any doubt that you are deserving of the finest things in life, not because you have earned them, but because your very existence makes you worthy. There is no need to prove yourself to anyone. There is no need to chase after validation. The moment you recognize your own value, the world will simply mirror it back to you. Many people misunderstand the nature of wealth. They believe that if they had more money, better clothes, or a more extravagant lifestyle, they would finally feel successful. But the truth is, unless the feeling of success is first established within, no amount of external wealth will ever be enough. You could wear the most expensive designer clothing, drive the most luxurious car, and live in a grand estate, yet if you still see yourself as someone struggling or unworthy, that is the reality you will continue to manifest. Luxury is not a thing, it is a presence. It is the way you walk into a room. It is the way you hold yourself, the way you move, the way you speak. It is an energy that radiates from within, effortlessly drawing people and opportunities toward you. When you see someone who exudes true wealth, you can feel it. It is not the brands they wear or the material things they possess. It is the way they carry themselves. They do not seek attention, yet attention naturally falls upon them. They do not demand respect, yet they are respected. They do not compete, yet they always seem to win. The secret lies in knowing that you are already enough. When you operate from this understanding, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop striving and start receiving. You stop worrying about how others perceive you because you are no longer looking for external validation. You simply exist in the state of already being the person you desire to be, and as a result, everything you desire begins to flow effortlessly into your life. Many people wait for external changes before they allow themselves to feel successful. They think, once I have the money, then I will feel rich. Once I have the perfect relationship, then I will feel loved. Once I achieve my goals, then I will feel confident. But this is a backwards way of thinking. The outer world does not create the inner world. The inner world creates the outer world. You must first feel wealthy, loved, and confident within yourself before any of these things can materialize in your reality. The moment you shift your self-concept, everything around you begins to shift as well. The people you attract change, the way others respond to you changes, the opportunities that come your way change. It is as if the entire universe rearranges itself to accommodate your new state of being. And it all begins with a decision, one single decision, to see yourself differently, to know yourself as someone who already possesses all that you desire. Luxury is a state of being. It is the ability to walk through life knowing that you are enough, that you are valuable, that you are worthy of the best. It is the quiet confidence of someone who does not need to prove anything to anyone. It is the calm assurance that comes from knowing that everything you desire is already yours. It is the deep, unwavering belief that you belong in the spaces you wish to occupy, that you deserve the experiences you dream of, and that the world will always rise to meet your expectations. The rich are not rich because of their money. They are rich because they see themselves as rich. They are not confident because of their success. They are successful because they first carried themselves with confidence. Everything is a reflection of your inner state. If you want to exude luxury and confidence, do not start by changing your wardrobe, your car, or your home. Start by changing the way you see yourself. Begin to embody the energy of the person you wish to become. Feel within yourself what it is like to already be that person. Ask yourself, how would I move if I already had everything I desired? How would I speak? How would I present myself to the world? Then, without waiting for external validation, begin to move, speak, and present yourself that way now. The world is simply a mirror, reflecting back to you what you believe about yourself. If you see yourself as someone of value, the world will treat you as valuable. If you see yourself as someone worthy of success, success will find its way to you. If you walk with the certainty of one who already possesses wealth, wealth will inevitably come into your experience. Most people do not fail because they lack resources. They fail because they cannot see themselves as the person who has already won. They do not believe they belong in luxury, so they push it away. They do not believe they are worthy of success, so they sabotage it. The mind, if not directed consciously, will always revert to what it has been conditioned to believe. And for many, that conditioning is one of lack, struggle, and unworthiness. But at any moment, you can choose differently. You can choose to see yourself as the person who has already arrived. You can choose to carry yourself with the energy of success, to move with the quiet assurance of someone who belongs in the finest places, to walk with the grace of one who is already living the life they desire. And as you do, the world will begin to reflect your new state of being back to you. The feeling must come first. The belief must be established within before it can be seen without. The moment you truly know yourself as wealthy, as powerful, as worthy, the external world will have no choice but to align with that knowing. The moment you stop seeking and start embodying, you will find that everything you once chased after is now effortlessly drawn to you. Luxury and confidence are not things you acquire, they are things you remember about yourself. They are states of being that are already within you, waiting to be claimed. The secret to luxury and confidence is not found in effort, struggle, or external validation. It is found in assumption. You do not need to chase after success, wealth, or admiration. You only need to assume the consciousness of one who already possesses these things. The world does not give you what you want, it gives you who you are. Every moment of your life is a reflection of the state of mind you habitually dwell in. When you walk through life carrying the consciousness of success, the world has no choice but to shape itself to match your inner certainty. Those who are wealthy do not operate from a mindset of lack. They do not see money as something to desperately obtain or something that is slipping away from them. They live in the unwavering belief that abundance is their natural state. They do not need to remind themselves to feel secure or powerful because that security and power are embedded in their very being. They carry the consciousness of wealth, and that consciousness manifests as financial prosperity, influence, and ease. Confidence does not come from what you have, it comes from who you believe yourself to be. The rich do not seek approval because they do not need it. They do not shrink themselves in the presence of others, nor do they exaggerate their importance. They simply exist in the certainty of their own worth. Their confidence is not arrogance, nor is it forced. It is a quiet knowing, an effortless presence that commands attention without demanding it. They assume they belong, and so they do. They assume they are respected, and so they are. They assume success is inevitable, and so it follows them. Most people believe they must first acquire something before they can feel worthy of it. They believe they must first have wealth before they can carry themselves with the ease of the rich. They believe they must first achieve success before they can walk with the confidence of someone who has already won. But this thinking is backward. The external world is a reflection of the internal world. You do not wait for your reality to change before assuming a new state of being. You assume the new state first, and the world follows. There is no effort in assumption. You do not struggle to believe that you are who you are. You do not wake up each morning trying to remember your name or your identity. It is natural to you. In the same way, when you assume the consciousness of wealth and confidence, it becomes effortless. There is no pretending, no forcing, no hoping. It simply is. You no longer see yourself as someone who is striving for success. You know you are already successful. You no longer try to act wealthy. You know that wealth is yours even before it appears physically. You do not question your worth. You exist in the absolute, knowing that you are valuable. When you assume the consciousness of success, you begin to move differently. Your posture changes, your energy shifts, your voice carries a different weight. The world responds to you in a way it never did before. You notice that opportunities appear effortlessly, that people treat you with more respect, that situations unfold in your favor. This is not because the external world suddenly decided to reward you. It is because you changed the state from which you operate. The world is only reflecting back what you now embody. Most people do not understand the power of assumption. They spend their lives trying to prove their worth, trying to force success, trying to manipulate external circumstances. But those who truly understand how reality works do not operate from effort, they operate from knowing. They do not chase, they attract. They do not ask, they expect. They do not seek permission to be great, they assume their greatness. And the world aligns accordingly. The consciousness of wealth does not waver. It does not panic in times of uncertainty. It does not question whether abundance will continue to flow. It moves with the assurance that all things are already taken care of. Those who carry this consciousness never wonder if they will succeed. They know they already have. They do not hesitate when opportunities arise. They act with certainty because they trust in their own inevitability. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is not luck, intelligence, or effort. It is state of mind. The one who assumes they are wealthy, powerful, and respected will always manifest those realities, while the one who believes they must earn these things will continue to chase them indefinitely. You do not need to work harder to become the person you wish to be. You only need to shift your state of being. You only need to assume that you already are. Luxury and confidence are not external attributes, they are internal conditions. You do not need a designer wardrobe to look expensive. You need the consciousness of one who is accustomed to the finest things in life. You do not need validation from others to feel important. You need the consciousness of one who already knows their worth. The external follows the internal, always. People who are naturally wealthy do not operate from desperation. They do not hope for opportunities. They expect them. They do not dream of abundance. They live in the certainty of it. They assume that everything they desire is already on its way to them, and so it is. They do not chase money. Money comes to them. They do not force success. Success is drawn to them. They do not question their position in life. They know they belong at the top. When you assume a new consciousness, your actions naturally align with that state. You no longer hesitate to step into luxurious environments because you know you belong there. You no longer shrink yourself in the presence of power because you recognize that you too are powerful. You no longer feel the need to explain or justify yourself because you operate from a place of inner certainty. You move through life with the quiet confidence of one who already possesses everything they desire. There is a profound ease that comes with this shift. When you are no longer trying to prove yourself, you become magnetic. People are drawn to those who carry themselves with certainty. They are naturally inclined to respect and admire those who do not seek approval. This is why the rich and powerful often seem to have an effortless pull over others. They do not ask for attention, they receive it because they assume it is theirs. The mind is the only thing that stands between you and the life you desire. If you believe you are someone who must work tirelessly to earn success, that is the reality you will experience. But if you assume the consciousness of one who already has success, then everything you desire will come to you without struggle. The moment you stop trying to become and simply assume that you already are, the world will conform to your new self-concept. Every moment you have a choice. You can continue to operate from the mindset of lack, waiting for external validation before you allow yourself to feel successful, or you can step into the consciousness of wealth, knowing that everything you seek is already within you. The shift does not require time. It does not require effort. It only requires that you decide. Decide to carry yourself as one who already has it all. Decide to embody the energy of confidence, power, and success. Decide to assume the consciousness of the life you desire, and the world will align to match your assumption. The way you carry yourself in the world is a direct reflection of the beliefs you hold about yourself. Every gesture, every word, every movement is an unspoken declaration of your state of mind. Those who exude luxury and confidence do not do so by accident. They have assumed an inner state that radiates outward. They walk with purpose, they move with ease, they exist in a space of knowing. There is no hesitation in their steps, no doubt in their presence. The energy they project is one of certainty, and that certainty is what draws the world to them. Posture is more than just a physical stance. It is an external manifestation of an internal belief. When you observe those who command attention effortlessly, you will notice that they never shrink themselves. Their shoulders are back, their movements are fluid, and their presence is undeniable. They do not rush, nor do they hesitate. Their confidence is not forced. It is natural. They do not need to announce their importance because it is already understood. Their presence alone speaks volumes. The way you sit, the way you stand, the way you hold your head, each of these things tells the world what to believe about you. Those who are uncertain of themselves make themselves small. They hunch their shoulders, they avoid eye contact, they move nervously, they project the energy of someone who is unsure. And the world responds accordingly. But those who move through life as though they belong, as though they are certain of their place, find that the world bends to accommodate their presence. True wealth is not something that fluctuates based on circumstances. It is not something that appears when conditions are perfect. It is a state of being that remains unshaken regardless of external appearances. A person who truly embodies wealth does not crumble when faced with a challenge, nor do they question their worth if their bank balance changes. They know that their wealth is not tied to a single source. They understand that abundance is a constant flow, not a limited resource. And because they live in this knowing, they always find themselves in situations that reflect it. There is no need to grasp at wealth when you know it is already yours. Desperation repels, while certainty attracts. The moment you release the fear of not having enough, the moment you stop treating wealth as something separate from you, it begins to move toward you effortlessly. The rich do not worry about whether or not they will be able to afford something. They simply decide. They do not question if they are worthy of luxury. They already know they are. This is the key distinction. Wealth does not begin in the wallet. It begins in the mind. People often believe that they will feel wealthy once they have a certain amount of money. But in reality, money flows to those who already embody the feeling of wealth. This is why those who chase money often find themselves in a cycle of never having enough, while those who assume abundance seem to attract more of it effortlessly. It is not about how much you have. It is about how you feel about what you have. When you move through life with the certainty of wealth, you will find that life bends to accommodate that certainty. Every action you take should reflect the state of wealth you wish to embody. If you desire to exude luxury and confidence, start treating yourself as though you already possess those qualities. Carry yourself with ease. Move through life with a sense of deserving. Choose experiences that reinforce your self-worth. Speak with certainty. Walk with intention. Allow yourself to receive without guilt. Wealth is not a destination, it is a state of being. And when you fully step into that state, the world will adjust itself to match your vibration. The feeling of wealth is always available to you. It does not require a specific number in your account, nor does it require external validation. It is something you choose, something you step into, something you embody. The moment you begin to treat yourself as though you are already abundant, life will conspire to make it your reality. Wealth is not something you acquire, it is something you become. And once you become it, the world will reflect it back to you in ways beyond your imagination. The way you present yourself to the world is a reflection of your inner state. Confidence and luxury are not about material wealth alone. They are about the energy you project. Those who exude wealth do not merely wear expensive clothes or drive lavish cars. They carry themselves with a quiet assurance that speaks louder than any external display. They walk with certainty. They move with ease, and they radiate a presence that commands attention. This presence is not cultivated by external validation, but by an internal shift in identity. You do not become wealthy by waiting for money to appear. You become wealthy by first feeling and acting as if you already are. Luxury is not about excess, but about refinement. It is about an awareness of quality in every aspect of life. A person who embodies wealth is intentional about their choices. They do not settle for mediocrity. They demand excellence. Not from a place of entitlement, but from a deep understanding that they are worthy of the best. They take care of their appearance, not to impress others, but because they know that how they present themselves shapes how they feel and how the world responds to them. Their clothing, their grooming, their posture, all of it is an outward expression of the wealth consciousness they carry within. The most powerful individuals in the world do not need to announce their presence. They do not need to seek approval or prove their worth. They simply are. Their confidence is effortless, their demeanor unshaken, their aura magnetic. This is not something they were born with, it is something they cultivated, and it begins with the way they see themselves. When you believe in your worth, when you accept your own value as absolute, you move through life differently. You no longer seek permission to take up space. You no longer feel the need to justify your desires. You become the embodiment of wealth, and the world adjusts accordingly. There is a certain grace in the way a wealthy person carries themselves. They do not rush. They do not fidget. They are present in every moment, fully engaged with their surroundings. Their speech is measured, deliberate, filled with certainty. They do not over-explain, nor do they beg to be understood. They speak and move with authority, not because they force it, but because they believe in the power of their own presence. This is not arrogance. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are. You do not need vast sums of money to cultivate this presence. You need only to shift your mindset. Start by treating yourself with the level of respect you expect from the world. Stand tall, walk with purpose, speak with clarity. Take care of yourself as if you are already the most valuable person in the room, not because you seek validation, but because you understand your own worth. Invest in yourself, not just in your appearance, but in your knowledge, your skills, your experiences. A wealthy mind attracts a wealthy life. Luxury is not only found in grand gestures, it is found in the small details. The way you hold a cup of tea, the way you arrange your space, the way you take a deep breath before responding rather than reacting. These nuances create an aura of elegance and control. When you carry yourself with refinement, you signal to the world that you value yourself. And when you value yourself, the world follows suit. There is a difference between confidence and arrogance. True confidence is silent, unshaken, needing no validation. It is not loud, nor does it demand attention. It simply exists. It is the knowing that you belong, that you are enough, that you deserve the best. Arrogance, on the other hand, is fragile. It seeks external proof. It needs to be recognized. It craves approval. A truly wealthy person does not need to convince anyone of their wealth. They embody it so completely that it is self-evident. If you wish to exude luxury and confidence, begin by shifting how you see yourself. Ask yourself how a wealthy person would carry themselves in your position. Would they hesitate? Would they shrink themselves to make others comfortable? Would they second-guess their worth? Or would they stand firm in their knowing, moving through life with assurance? This is the shift that must take place within you before it can manifest externally. The energy you project is what shapes your reality. When you walk into a room believing you belong there, others will believe it too. When you speak with conviction, people will listen. When you dress in a way that reflects self-respect and refinement, the world will treat you accordingly. Every detail matters. Every action sends a signal. If you want to be seen as someone who commands respect, who attracts abundance effortlessly, you must first become that person internally. Wealth is a mindset. Confidence is a choice. The difference between those who exude luxury and those who do not is not in their bank balance, but in their belief system. The wealthy believe in their worth without question. They do not ask for permission to be great. They do not apologize for wanting the best. They do not wait for the world to affirm them. They affirm themselves first, and the world follows. Luxury is in the way you treat yourself, in the way you move, in the way you allow yourself to receive. It is in the belief that you are deserving of beauty, of quality, of abundance. This belief does not come from external validation. It comes from an internal knowing. And once you adopt this knowing, once you step into the identity of a person who naturally attracts wealth, the world will rearrange itself to match that assumption. The secret is to embody it now. Do not wait until you have more money, more opportunities, more recognition. Step into the feeling of wealth today. Walk as if you already have everything you desire. Speak as if you are already successful. Carry yourself with the poise and certainty of someone who has already arrived. Because in truth, the moment you assume that identity, you have. The voice carries weight not because of its volume, but because of the belief behind it. Those who speak with confidence do not rush their words. They do not fill the silence with nervous chatter. They do not seek to prove themselves. Instead, they allow their words to land with certainty. They know that what they have to say matters, and so others listen. It is not the words themselves that create an impact. It is the energy behind them. A quiet, assured voice carries more power than the loudest proclamation of self-importance. Luxury is not about what you wear. It is about how you wear it. A person can be dressed in the finest garments, yet if they lack the consciousness of wealth, their appearance will betray them. On the other hand, someone who carries the energy of luxury can make even the simplest outfit look like a statement. The rich do not wear expensive clothing to feel important. They wear it because it is natural to them. Their confidence does not come from their wardrobe. Their wardrobe is simply an extension of their inner state. Movement tells a story. Those who are accustomed to success and abundance do not fidget. They do not make frantic, erratic movements. They move with precision, with control, with grace. Their hands are steady, their gestures deliberate. They do not waste energy proving themselves. Their very existence is proof enough. When they enter a room, they do not announce themselves with words. Their presence alone shifts the atmosphere. The energy they emit draws people in, not because they are trying to impress, but because they embody something rare: self-assurance. Luxury is not rushed. It is never desperate. Those who truly understand wealth and power move through life with a sense of ease. They do not rush to fill silence, nor do they seek constant validation. They are comfortable in their own presence. They know that everything they desire is already theirs, and so they do not chase. They attract. Their energy is calm, yet commanding. They do not react to the world, they shape it. A person who embodies confidence does not look around for approval. They do not constantly check to see if others are watching them. They do not adjust their behavior based on external validation. They simply exist in the certainty of their own worth. They do not demand attention, attention finds them. They do not need to be loud to be heard, their presence alone is enough. The world takes note of those who move through life as though they belong, because belief is magnetic. The consciousness of wealth and confidence is not something that can be faked. It must be assumed. Those who attempt to mimic the mannerisms of the rich without first adopting the inner state will find that something always feels off. There is a disconnect between their actions and their beliefs. The truly powerful do not force themselves to act a certain way. They simply are. Their consciousness is effortless because they have assumed it as a natural state of being. Every movement, every expression, every interaction is a reflection of what you believe about yourself. If you believe you are worthy, the world will reflect that back to you. If you believe you belong among the powerful, the world will confirm it. If you carry yourself with the certainty of success, success will find you. The way you present yourself is not just about appearance, it is about the energy you project, and that energy is determined entirely by your assumption. Those who live in wealth do not question their place in the world. They do not hesitate before entering a room. They do not second-guess their worth. They move through life with an ease that comes from knowing they are exactly where they are meant to be. They are not striving. They are simply being. And because they assume this state so fully, the world reflects it back to them in every interaction, every opportunity, every experience. Luxury is not about material possessions. It is about the state of being. A person who embodies wealth and confidence does not need external validation to feel important. They do not need designer labels to prove their worth. They do not need approval to feel powerful. Their confidence is not reliant on circumstance. It is an unshakable inner knowing. It is this knowing that makes them magnetic. It is this knowing that shapes their reality. The energy you project dictates how the world responds to you. Those who exude confidence and luxury do not do so because they are trying. They do so because they have assumed the state. They have stepped into the consciousness of wealth and power, and so the world reflects it back to them effortlessly. There is no forcing, no pretending, no effort. It simply is. When you assume the consciousness of success, everything about you shifts. Your posture changes, your voice deepens, your movements become deliberate. You no longer seek approval because you no longer need it. You no longer hesitate because you already know you belong. The key to exuding luxury and confidence is not found in external effort. It is not about practicing how to walk, how to speak, how to move. It is about assuming the consciousness of someone who already possesses these things. When you fully embody this state, the external world follows. Your energy shifts, and that shift is felt by everyone around you. You do not need to convince anyone of your worth, they simply know. You do not need to demand attention, it comes to you naturally. You do not need to chase success, it is drawn to you effortlessly. You are always communicating something to the world. Every gesture, every movement, every glance tells a story. If you carry yourself as someone who is uncertain, hesitant, or unworthy, the world will respond accordingly. But if you assume the consciousness of wealth, confidence, and power, the world will confirm it. The external world is only ever a reflection of your inner state. And when you shift your state, you shift your reality. The feeling of wealth is not something that exists outside of you. It is not a number in a bank account, nor is it a collection of possessions. It is a state of consciousness, a vibration that you embody, and from that state, all external manifestations of luxury and confidence flow effortlessly. Those who live in abundance do not constantly question where their wealth comes from, nor do they worry about how it will continue to flow. They exist in a knowing, a deep, unwavering certainty that wealth is simply part of their existence. And because they assume it so naturally, their world reflects it back to them in every form. Imagine a person who embodies wealth, not as a fleeting moment, but as a natural part of their identity. Their energy is different. They do not operate from a place of scarcity or desperation. They do not cling to money afraid that it will disappear. Instead, they move through life with an effortless trust that what they need will always be available. This trust is not blind hope. It is an inner conviction so strong that the world has no choice but to mirror it. They know without question that wealth is theirs. It is not something they chase, nor is it something they beg for. It is something they allow. To live in luxury, one must first feel luxurious. This is not about buying expensive things to convince yourself of wealth, but about shifting the way you experience yourself in relation to the world. It is about treating yourself as though you are already abundant. Wealth is not in the object itself, but in the way you perceive it. A person who is truly wealthy does not rush through experiences, does not treat themselves as an afterthought, and does not deprive themselves of joy in the name of future security. They live fully, presently, knowing that their wealth is eternal. There is a difference between spending money to feel rich and feeling rich, which then attracts more money. The former is an attempt to convince the mind of wealth, while the latter is an embodiment of a truth already accepted. A person who operates from scarcity will spend money impulsively, trying to capture the fleeting feeling of abundance. But the one who truly understands wealth does not spend out of desperation. They spend out of alignment with their natural state. They buy not to prove something, but because it simply feels natural for them to do so. Their relationship with money is not one of fear, but of partnership. Money is not something to chase. It is something that follows. You can always tell who truly understands wealth by the way they treat themselves. A person who is rich in consciousness does not settle for experiences that do not align with their selfish mating. They are not reckless, but they also do not deprive themselves out of fear. They trust that what they give to themselves, life will return to them multiplied. They invest in their well-being not as an indulgence, but as a natural part of their existence. They do not question whether they deserve the best, they simply assume that they do. Luxury is not about extravagance for the sake of appearance. It is about quality, about choosing experiences and things that reflect a deep sense of self-worth. A person who values themselves does not allow their surroundings to contradict that value. They are intentional about their space, about the way they dress, about the way they carry themselves. It is not about impressing others. It is about living in harmony with the identity they have assumed. They surround themselves with beauty not because they need validation, but because they understand that their external world is an extension of their internal world. To live in luxury, one must first feel luxurious within. The way you treat yourself sets the tone for how the world treats you. If you carry the energy of lack, of never having enough, of always waiting for the right moment to enjoy life, then life will continue to reflect that reality. But if you begin to embody the feeling of abundance, if you start treating yourself as though you are already living in the wealth you desire, the world will respond accordingly. This does not mean reckless spending or forcing yourself into situations that are financially irresponsible. It means aligning with the vibration of wealth in whatever ways are available to you now. It means walking with a sense of certainty, dressing in a way that makes you feel your best, creating an environment that reflects beauty and abundance. It means moving through life with the assurance that you are already the person you aspire to be.